Hi everybody, this is Mr. Carey coming back to you with another GoMath 4th grade lesson. And today's lesson is going to be lesson 4.9, Modeling Division with Regrouping. Now, this is the first step in learning how to regroup with division. We've already started to kind of do long division in my class, or not really long, I don't know if I'd call it short division, but division in our class. We have kind of done 144 divided by 12, and we've kind of learned how to do this, and I've gone through the steps, but we haven't really explored why we're subtracting, why I'm bringing the number down. And so this is the lesson for that. And to kick things off, we are going to do a problem out of page 177 in your GoMath book, if you have the book with you. If you don't, that's fine. But the question is, the librarian wants to share 54 books equally among 3 classes. How many books will she give to each class? Now, before we do this, the traditional, put the 54 and put the 3. Before we do that, we're just going to model it because I want to show you what this looks like. All right, so first, let's draw our 3 classes. All right, here's class 1, and then let's draw class 2, and then one more. There's our 3 classes. All right, now we have 54 books, and the way we're going to write it is we're going to write it as 5 tens and 4 ones, because that is what 54 is. 5 tens and 4 ones. And we're going to draw it as in like we have, blocks or base 10 blocks in front of us. So let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's our 4. I could even, let's just make it equal so it's not just hanging by itself. There we go. 4 blocks. And what we do next is we start dividing them. So we start putting these 1s and these 10s in these different classes. So what we're going to do first is we're going to share the 10s equally, or divide them equally. So let's look what that looks like. And as I put a number in, I'll change the color to blue to show us that we're moving from the black numbers to the blue numbers. So let's start dividing the 10s into these classes. So we have 1 10, 2 10s, and 3 10s. And now we go back and we erase 1, 2, 3. Cool. Well, now we have a problem. We have 2 10s here, but what do we do with them? See these 2 10s right here? Can I break those, or can I divide them equally among 3 classes? No, I can't. I can't, because if I do 1 10 and then 2 10s, well, I have no more 10s, and then this class isn't happy because they didn't get 10 books. And then if I do that any other way, basically a class is not going to be happy if we try to divide these two, if we just separate out these 2 10s. So what we're going to have to do is we are going to have to regroup our 10s. So instead of having 2 10s, we're going to make them as 20 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, so now what we can do is we can start dividing these equally. So let's start doing that. And I'm instead of doing it one at a time, which I'll do it one at a time to start off, but then after that, we'll go a little faster. So as I put a 1 from up here and I put it to here, I'm going to change the color. All right, so let's start off, and then I'll erase it as well. So we have 1, 2, 3. All right, so then let's erase. 1, 2, 3 is gone. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3. Let's erase that. 1, 2, 3. Do it again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, now we can go a little bit quicker, and I'll show you why. Because I've grouped these already, look at how I've grouped these. I've grouped these in columns of 3, right? So column 1, column 2, column 3. So I can just take these, was this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can just take those 5 and just throw them in there 5 at a time. And let's see what that looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should have been 15 ones that we got rid of, or we moved them. So let's see if that's true. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Sure enough, we used all of our ones, and now we have none left. So, how many in each one of these classes? How many 10s and how many 1s do we have? All right, so we have, and let's write it as a number, 1 10 and 8 1s. What is 1 10 and 8 1s? Right, that's 18. So, the librarian will give how many books to each class? 18 books to each class, which that is our answer. 54 divided by 3 equals 18. Now the way we can check this, right, that's dividing. I have 54 books, I have 3 classes, and each class will get 18 books. And then we can check our answer, right? If we're not sure, well, then we can do it a couple different ways. And I'll do it in red to show multiplication and addition. All right, we can do repeated addition, 18 plus 18 plus 18, or we can do 18 times 3, which is exactly the same thing. And we will get 54. You can add on this, you can add this on your own if you like, but yeah, I mean, I can go through it, but I know this is 18 plus 18 plus 18 is 54. Cool, right? Well, let's try it, and let's do it without, we'll do it kind of with the blocks, but I'm also going to do it using the traditional division, having the number and the divisor on the outside. And I'm going to highlight it too to show you what that looks like. So let's get rid of that. Classes, I could probably keep my classes. Let's keep our classes because I think I'm going to use them again. And let's get rid of, let's get rid of, sorry, you got to go away. Yep, cool. All right, this is just going to be an easy, no word problem. I mean, I'm sure I can come up with some. I'll come up with a word problem after this for the third one we do. But this one is going to be 76 divided by 3. And this is in page 178 of your GoMath book. So 76 divided by 3. So what this means is nothing more than I have 76 of something, right? You can even use books if you want. I have 76 books, I have 3 classes, and I need to divide them equally. So let's draw, and I'm going to do my division on the top up here, and let me move these. Let's move these shapes around a little bit because that's kind of want to put them where it's going to be a little easier so I can do division on the right. So 76 divided by 3. So let's get rid of that. All right. So, and I'm going to color code this 76 divided by 3, and I'm going to color code it as I'm doing this. So remember, my divisor I like to have in red. Divisor's in red. My dividend is in blue, and then my quotient is going to be in green. So I guess I probably could have made these circles, there we go. I can make them. Let's make them, there we go, let's make them, there we go. All right, so we're going to make these red, just to show you. Now, apparently I can do it on one, can't do it on the other one, so I'm just going to make 3 red circles. The red circles are signifying my divisor. That's why I like to do it. So I have 1, 2, And then where's my other class? Perfect. So there's my 3 classes, right? That's my divisor. And then I'll do these ones columns, ones and tens. That's going to be in blue. So if I have 76, that's 7 tens and 6 ones. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Cool. All right. And now let's get started. Let's share out the tens equally in each group. All right. So that's where we're going to start. And as we share them, I'm going to turn them green now. So I have my blue, right? There's my blue, right? That's showing that's my quotient. And then as I share them, that's going to be my divisor. Pretty cool, huh? All right. So how many tens can I put in each one? And let's share it out equally. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6. All right. Now, the question is, how many tens are in each group? We shared out. So I have 2 tens in each group. So this is where that goes. That first number. See where I put the 2 up there? I'll put that in, make it a little easier to see. It is hard to see green writing on green background. So 3 times 2 gets me what? 6. Where did I get the 6, right? I have this number right here. That number is how many tens are in each group, right? Each one of my classes has 2 tens. So how many total tens did I use? I used 6, right? 2, 4, 6. That looks like this. 2 times 3 gets me 6. Ah, pretty cool, huh? Now I have to subtract. Why do I subtract? Well, this number, remember this is the tens used. How many tens are left over? I have 1 10, right? There's my 1 10 by itself. There's my 1 10. Pretty cool, huh? That means I have 1 10 left. But I also have something else. Yeah, I have some 1s left over, and they're right here. But now, before we move on, can I divide that 10 equally, as a tens place, can I divide it equally among my 3 classes? No, I can't, right? This 10 right here, I have to break it up. All right, so let's go ahead and break that up, because again, if I do it for 1, these 2 classes, right? If I put my 1 there, then these classes aren't happy, they don't get anything, right? So in order to share that 1 or to divide it, that tens, we need to break it apart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome. Now what that looks like over here is this. It's actually really cool. You bring your 6 down. Now I have 16. That's 16 ones to share. Pretty cool, because I regrouped. So how many dots do I have? 4, 8, 12, 16. I have 16 dots or 16 ones. Pretty awesome, right? That 16 is the same as that. Cool. Now, we need to share the ones equally among 3 groups. So let's start doing that. Turn that to blue. Let's do it in groups of 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome, right? So there's my first 4, my second 4, and my third 4. Let's get that arrow out of the way. It's kind of bothering me. There we go. Cool. Now I have 4 1s Can I divide them equally among 3 classes? Sure I can. I mean, not all the way, but I can start going 1, 2, 3. And there we go. 1, 2, 3. Uh-oh. Looks like we have 1 left over. But before we do that, let's look at how many 1s are in each group. Right, if you said 5, you're correct. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So, where does that 5 go? That 5 goes right here. Pretty cool, huh? Now, how many total 1s did we use? Well, if I did 5 here, then I did 5 here and 5 here. That's just nothing but 5, 10, 15, or 5 times 3. And look at that. 5 times 3 equals 15. Cool. And how many 1s, this little guy right there, how many 1s do we have left over? We have 1 left over. And that is our answer. Now, we would, however we want to write the remainder, right? If we want to write the remainder as, I don't know, 25 remainder of 1, we can do that. If you want to write it as a fraction, remember my fractions, the remainder goes on top, and the divisor goes on the bottom. So then my answer could be 25 1/3, it could be 25 remainder 1, or depending on what else you're using, if you're estimating up or estimating down. But that is modeling division with regrouping, right? That is why we subtract here. That's why this 1 comes down here. That's why all of that happens, and I'm modeling it with this. I feel like I'm John Madden, like drawing on my, my zeros and my X's going that way. Anyway, for those of you that know who John Madden is. So let's do one more, and I want to do more. I want to do one more problem on this because it can be a difficult concept going into division, and what do you mean? Where are you getting the 1s and the 10s from? So let's do that. All right, let's. And I'm not going to use, sorry classes, I'm not going to do that. I'll probably change it to something else. And I thought of this problem this morning because I used to can fruits and vegetables. I mean, I still do, but so I have a math problem. Mr. Carey picked 85 blackberries. He is going to divide them equally into 4 mason jars. How many, did I say blueberries? Blackberries. Let's say blackberries. How many blackberries will be in each jar? I mean, that's a, fairly, real life problem. I mean, if you are counting out berries like that. I'm usually not, but I thought it was still a good idea. So let's do this. Let's start off with 85 divided by 4. Now I'm going to write it as 85 divided by 4. Now I need to shade my divisor because I like to do that. So which one is my divisor? What number is my divisor? Good. If you said the 4, that would be absolutely correct. That's my divisor. That's how many jars I have. What is my dividend? Good. My dividend is 85. I have 85 blackberries. And then where will my quotient go? Good. There's my quotient. And that will be the number of blackberries in each jar. So let's draw our jar. And I'm just going to do a box. I don't really feel like making like a 3-dimensional jar, and I don't know if it would come out that well anyway. So jar 1, and then let's do jar, oops, nope, didn't want to do that. That was, sorry, go away. There we go. Jar 2, and then let's do jar 3 and 4. There's my jars. They're little mason jars. That's why they can, they don't have to hold a lot. So let's start off with 85. So what is 85? written in tens and ones, right? Yeah, 8 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to start dividing or sharing our tens equally. That's the first step. Do your tens equally. So, and as I take my dividend, which is, remember, this is my dividend, as I put that, as I share them, I'm going to turn it into green because that will be my quotient. So let's start sharing. And I'm going to do it one at a time to show you what it looks like. Now, some of you can already look at this and, right, I got it, Mr. Carey. But for now, just stay with me. And this problem's not in the book. This is one I just came up with. So 1 10, 2 tens, 3 tens, 4 tens. All right, well, let's erase. 1, 2, 3, 4. And look at that. Happy day. I have 4 tens left. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. All my tens. So I don't have to break apart my tens. That's fun. So how many tens are in each box or in each jar? Right. If you said 2, that's correct because I have, look, 2 tens. So where does that 2 go if I'm doing division on my division over here? Where does that go? That's right. It would go, and I'm going to, remember, draw it here, 2 tens in each group. Cool. Now, how many total tens did we use? Correct. We used all 8 of them, which is nothing more than 2 times 4 gives me what? Gives me 8. Awesome. And then do we have any tens left over? I'm going to say 8 minus 8. But why do I do 8 minus 8? Well, because I'm looking at how many tens are left over. So 8 minus 8 is 0. You can put a 0 there if you want. But now how many 5s are left over? Sorry, not 5s. How many 1s are left over? I already gave the answer there. Right? This is why we bring this little dude down right there. Why do we bring him down? Because that's how many 1s are left over. I have 5 1s left over. So that is where this goes. Now, how can I divide 5 1s between 4 jars? Well, let's try it out. Let's do it one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Awesome. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Now, how many, before I get into the remainder, how many 1s are in each jar? Right, there's 1. Right? 1 in each jar. How many 1s did I use total? I used 4, which is nothing more than 1 times 4. I'm like really making this dark. 4 equals what? What is 1 times 4? 4. Outstanding, because that's how many 1s I used. And how many 1s are left over? This little guy right there. Sorry, guy, you're all by yourself. 5 minus 4 equals 1. Now, that can be written as my remainder of 1. Or I can, if I want to do a fraction, 21 and 1/4. Now, I probably wouldn't do a fraction if I was talking about blackberries, unless I want to cut my blackberry up into fourths. I don't really want to do that because then it makes a mess in the kitchen and nobody wants that. So I would probably just use this answer. I would just say, well, I'm going to have 21 blackberries in each jar, and I'll have 1 left over that I'll probably just eat. I won't can it at all. But that is your 4.9 lesson, right? That's modeling division with regrouping. And this will go into lesson 4.10, which is going to be starting to get away from using this model. But this is a super important lesson because it explains, if I didn't have these models here, understanding, let's get rid of all this. All right, go away, you, sorry, yep. So if I just, without the models, and I just said, all right, 8 into, 940, right? And I just started going, well, 8 goes into 9 1 times 8 is 8, 9 minus 8 is 1, bring the 4 down. Like, I know, I'm 100% sure I'd probably lose everybody. Because that just, it's hard to like really picture in your mind what that looks like. But, if I were going to draw this, right, which I could, and let's do, was it my red? Yep. 8, 1. I'll even draw I'll draw like 8 jars or something. 2, 4. It's a cool tool, the copy tool, right? 8. And then I have 940. Now, I would probably figure out a way to write hundreds, which would be nothing more than, 9 hundreds, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then, let me get out of this, and 40, I have 940, so then I have 4 tens, right? 4 tens, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 0 ones. And all I'm going to start to do is just divide these equally. I'm just going to start sharing out my hundreds and my tens. But if I didn't have this model to show you where all this goes and why I'm subtracting and regrouping, it'd be a lot more difficult. So definitely, like, if at the end of this lesson, you feel like you got it, you can give me a kind of a, if you give me like, if you're this, right, like, yeah, I got it, cool. If you are a little bit like, not really sure, watch the video again, and just kind of do it along with me. Because if you do it with me, it's probably going to make more sense. If you're just watching it, it may be a little harder. So if you're actually doing the steps with me, it may make more sense. And even if it doesn't, let me know next week, or post a comment and said, can you do like 10 more examples for me? And you know what? I'll do 10 more examples. I'll video it. But just let me know. So for now, this is Mr. Carey, 4th grade, GoMath, lesson 4.9, signing off for now. The next lesson is going to be cool, and this is lesson 4.10, placing the first digit. So that is like our beginning of how we're getting into long division. So for now, enjoy the rest of your Saturday, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.